Oh, this is issei's new life. Okay, let's start. Old name Issei Hyodo. New name Daiko. Old looks, he looks like the same issei. New look, he has black hair with a white t-shirt and a black coat with blue jeans and a super saiyan tail. You say he looks like Goku, but almost like him. Let me show you the picture. That's what he looks like. New issei. And he got some black shoes. Old race. Former human reincarnated as a devil. New race. Draconic Saiyan. Explanation: this race was created when Issei tried to gain both the power of a Saiyan and a dragon. Rather than becoming a hybrid, two bloods merged from a new race that had traits from both races. Abilities of Draconian Saiyan. Can I just call him Dragon Saiyan? Because I don't want to say that Draconic something. Or I can just say Draconic Saiyan. Yeah, I'll just say Draconic. Controlled battle lust. Just like the pure blood Saiyan, Draconic Saiyan have the urge to fight strong opponents and get stronger. However, Draconic Saiyan can control their lust for battle easier and sometimes even suppress it. Super Saiyan transformation. Draconic form, he has Super Saiyan transformations. Draconic form. Draconic Saiyans have the ability to transform into a dragon and multiply their power 50 folds. Their dragon's form usually is composed of black scales, but they change color when transforming to match their hair color. I did not get what he meant there. Because everything word is so mixed up, but oh well. Full moon restoration. With a dragon form, Draconic Saiyans no longer need the grade 8 form, and rather transform during a full moon. They get their energy replenished and gain a massive healing ability. When exposed to a full moon or another source of blood wave, note, may cause loss of self-control is not properly trained. Enchanted senses. Ability to survive in space provided by the dragon side. Magic provided by the dragon side. Zenkai boost provided by the Saiyan side. Issei's ability. Draconic psychology. Draconic and Saiyan psychology. Key manipulation. God key manipulation, holy magic, demon magic, elemental magic. Okay, I'm just gonna say that the Draconic, if I'm saying Draconic, it's both Saiyan and Draconic. So I don't have to finish with the Saiyan. Only whenever it's truly needed, if that's okay. I already said his ability. Now the next one, boosted flames. Wait, is this? Today is not Monday. Thought it was school day, but it's Sunday. Boosted flames, created from adding Drake's boost ability to fire magic, creates crimson red flames that continue to get hotter and more destructive the longer it burns. Ninjutsu. I don't get what he meant with ninjutsu. Oh well. If you know, you know. Now the forms, he has Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, Ultra Instinct Omen, Ultra Instinct Mastered. Note that he could also take these forms in the dragon form, and they are powerful. Issei's dragon form. This is how he looks like. Replaced red scales with black scales, which change color to match his hair color. Familia, that's what it looks like. Now, name, Sapphire, race, Blue Phoenix, was gifted to Issei by egg by Riser as a sign of good before he disappears. If you want to read it or think I'm bad at reading it, here's a guy. It's called Issei's New Life. You can just click his thing. Then it'll show you. And this is my thing. Okay, now let's continue. I hope you all have a great day if you haven't had any. I hope this makes your day great. Okay, now the prologue. In the forest far away from Koha Academy, sounds of an explosion echoed through the forest. And the source of it all, a teenager was seen smashing rocks and firing blasts at larger rocks. He was dressed in a gray hoodie and black pants, as well as a pair of sneakers. However, they were torn and worn out in some areas, indicating that the boy had been here for a while. The boy in question had a light brown spiky hair, and his eyes is the same light brown as his hair. Boost! Boost! A deep voice seemed to come out of the body of the boy's right arm, where a red gauntlet with a golden spike and a green gem glowed brightly. The boy then charged forward and punched another rock with his gauntlet, and the rock shattered to pieces as he stood there panting. Partner, you're pushing yourself too far. You should get some rest. The voice came from the gauntlet. Okay, this is too much. How many classes do I have? Gauntlet with a gem flashing every time it spoke. The boy gritted his teeth for a second before relenting and sitting on the ground where, for the first time that night, he spoke. Sorry I'm worrying you, Dre. I'm just mad. All those times where we all laughed and had fun, it was all nothing but a lie, shouted the brown-haired boy as a few tears ran down his face. The boy was none other than Issei Hyoto, or just Issei now. The owner of the deep voice, now identified as Drake, felt conflicted. He was happy that his partner was now taking his training seriously, but the price for that was what made him so conflicted. Flashback. Issei was walking to the ORC clubhouse as Rias called for him to go there. Let's just say that. But as he passed through the hallways of the school, he notices everyone glaring at him, and they whispered in his back. This made him feel a bit down, since this wasn't unfamiliar to him. He had been getting glares ever since he enrolled, but they were only recently started getting worse when he joined the ORC. Since he was so close to many beautiful or cute girls, with his reputation as a pervert, no one trusted him. Okay. He was interrupted by his musings as he found himself at the door of the ORC. As he took a deep breath before knocking, when he heard that unmistakable voice of his king telling him to come in, he did just that. When he walked in, he noticed everyone stopping whatever they were doing and looked at him with a blank gaze, except Azia, and it unnerved him to no end. Buncho, you wanted to see me? Asked Issei with a nervous look on his face. At the mention of that, Ria snapped out of it and gave him a neutral look, and she began to speak. Issei, ever since you defeated Riser, we have been very grateful for your help. She started with everyone nodding their heads in approval. That Issei let out a breath of relief, thinking that he's not in trouble. Sadly, that was not to last. However, I believe that your perverted nature is ruining the reputation and credibility of the ORC. She finished it with the same natural look. Issei's demeanor quickly changed and he looked around for someone to back him up, but they all nodded to approve Darius as words, glared at Kaneko, or just looked away, unable to face him. Asia. From now on, you're not to come to the clubhouse to interact with us, unless we deem unnecessary. Understood? The words that just came out of Ria's mouth hurt him. This was his king, the one who saved him from the death and gave him a new chance at life. And here she was throwing him away like a tool into a shed until she would still need him. Still stunned by what happened, he just nodded his head and walked away, completely ignoring the usual whispers and glares. Flashback ends. And that wasn't the end of it. His own family had heard what happened and began to shun and insult him, blaming him for all the problems and wishing he wasn't born and hurt. And that hurt. But it kept on getting worse. Even the school found out that he was no longer with the Orsi. They began to bully him and abuse. He would get beaten and betrayed by his peers, and his desk was filled with graffiti telling him to kill himself, and no one would care. But one last event caused him to snap. Flashback. A bruised issei, Hyoto limped away from the school building near where he was once at the peak at the Kendo Club girls. However, he had stopped when his friends Matsuda and Musa transferred to a new school, and now he's all alone with no friends helping him. He then sat along the tree and he liked to nap and winces as his bruises touched the rough tree, the back of the tree. This has been going on for 3 days now, and he didn't know how much longer it lasts. He was then cut from his thoughts. He felt a sharp pain in his abdomen. He spit out blood, looking up and saw Maria and Katsu, as well as the rest of the Kendo Club, who all seemed to look at them with disgust, desired to cause him pain. Why? Choked out as blood as they heard from him speak. Because you were trying to peek at us again, weren't you? Shouted Karase, who was convinced that he was peek at them, but not noticing his peaks. But I wasn't. Issei tried to reply, but he was cut off by Boken hitting the tree, missing his head. You lie, you're nothing but a filthy pervert who would never learn. I don't care what your excuse is. It's time for your punishment, yelled the pink-haired girl as everyone shouted their agreements and charged at the boy, beating him brutally. A few minutes later, a barely conscious Issei was crawling away from the Kendo girls before Marumaya decided to deal the final blow and struck him in the head with such strength that his skull instantly fractured and a sickening crack sound echoed through the air, and looked and saw the boy motionless on the crater floor. The girls were impressed with Maria and began complaining her for a good 5 minutes before they remembered Issei. Katsuna then turned, not knowing what was going on, and greeted her. Don't you dare to return, Hugh. Started the girls before she paled that when she saw the girls confused at why she stopped turning, as well as they all, especially Maruma, were horrified by what they saw. This is what happened. I am angry right now. I just want everything to turn events and beat their asses up. I am pissed, beyond pissed. I don't even know why I'm reading this, but then every time, like when I'm reading something, I just feel like I want to see how the end happens, like whenever they learn their lessons. And Issei beats all of them up. Ooh, but then whenever they forgive someone, I am hating that. Can't they just destroy the whole entire world or anything like that, or become a villain? Like, what is it? I remember Jiren. Was Jiren treated like a bad person? Like that? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, now let's continue. They lay Issei Kyoto laying in a pool of his own blood. His clothes and hair and face were cracked in the red liquid that poured out of his mouth and the back of his head. Many girls did not know what to do or just stood there frozen a few seconds. One of her screamed at the top of her lungs. Time skip. A steady beeping noise was the first thing he heard. As he came to, he slowly opened his eyes before looking around and realized where he was. Why am I at the hospital? Wondering Issei before he winced from the sudden pain at the back of his head. Those girls gave you some serious injuries, and you were losing a lot of blood. Thankfully, someone was able to come to their senses and call for help, hence why you're here. The memory instantly flooded with him, and remembered beating and hurtful words that the girls gave him. Did anyone come visit me? Asked Issei, was hoping the ORC or anyone for that mattered still cared. Drake sighed, knowing this won't be pretty. Only a handful of people visited, especially those two kendo captains, but they didn't stay long. Those two students council were the only one who visited. Issei felt his stomach dropping when he felt that. The kendo club probably didn't care about this being too much. They're probably making sure they didn't kill him. The student council have responsibilities, and they didn't know. They don't know him personally, but other than them, no one else visited. None of the ORC visited. His parents didn't visit. Not even Asya visited. No one cared for him. He was truly all alone. At the moment, something snapped within him. If they would care about him, and why would he care about them? They clearly proved that his friendship and sacrifice meant nothing to them. From now on, though, he needs a break from them, a break from everything. He told Sona that he would be taking a break from school for a while, and he took off into the forest, flashback hands. Issei gritted his teeth as a memory resurfaced, but he forced himself to calm down, remembering his partner's words, and went to sleep. But deep down, he hated it. He hated being weak. He hated being pushed around. He wanted to get stronger. That was his goal now. Not to be the ultimate pawn, but to be the strongest there is. Unknown to him, a tall, blue-skinned figure with the staff and hoop around his neck was floating above him and observing him. That's Whis, as you can all know. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I love how Whis says that. Oh, ho, ho, ho. This one has potential, and he definitely has a motivation. Perhaps he might be the one to beat you, my lord, said the man before he took off looking for some delicious food. This plant had for sampling purpose. Somebody said in the comments, Dad Whis or Dad Beers. I don't get that. I am loving this. They made how many chapters? No! This is the last chapter! It's literally been April from March. It's been April and he hasn't even updated anything. Like, bro. I am so pissed on how good this was. And okay, I'm just going to read it. And I'm going to be so pissed. Why didn't they finish? Space. Earth has home for humans. Chapter 1. Earth has home of humans and many supernatural species that lay hidden there. Gazing at the small blue planet was a young adult in his late teens. He had a longer length raven black hair, onyx eyes, and a bodybuilding that combined with his strong face would make any member of the inferior sex sworn at him. He seemed to resemble an ordinary human, except for one specific detail about him that was a brown monkey tail and switched around like it had a mind of its own. That man was formerly known as Issei Hyodo, who now goes by the name Daiko. His story began shortly after he left to take a break being at the Koha. Flashback. After waking up and eating some food, he packed with him. Issei proceeded to begin training again. He was tired for being weak. He was tired of being a pushover. He wanted to become the strongest there was. As he continued to do exercise and practice with boosted gear, as a mysterious voice spoke to him. My, you really want to get stronger, don't you? The voice said, and Issei felt a shiver go down his spine, like when he goes near the church. Only this time it was worse. Looking to the source of this voice, Issei saw a man with blue skins, purple eyes, a ring around his neck, and was holding a staff in his hands. Issei could tell that this man was far more powerful than him, so he decided to stand down, but he kept his guard up. "Who are you?" asked Issei, trying to sound brave, but in the inside he knew he was screwed if this guy wanted to kill him. Noticing this, the blue-skinned man smiled in respect to the boy. He will enjoy training him. Deciding to reassure Issei, he slowly approached, started walking around the camp, looking around. Now, young one, no need to be worried. I'm not here to kill you or kidnap you, as long as I have been watching you for quite some times. Now, said the man, surprising Issei, who sighed in relief. For some reason, he could tell that this man was telling the truth. But then, something he could register in his mind. "You have been watching me?" "Indeed. And I have to say, I am glad you started moving in the right direction. Oh, where are my manners? My name is Whis, and I am an angel." As soon as he said that, Issei went on his guard again. "Don't worry, I'm not from the angel faction from heaven. I am under the command of even higher power. You see, the power in your universe is one of the 12, all under the command of the Ami King, Zeno-sama. Each of the universe has a Kai, a god who creates and monitors life, and destroyers who destroy life. Each universe has an angel who is responsible for training the destroyer's god of their respective universe. We have no need to interfere with the three factions who and their war and conflicts." Issei was stunned when he heard this. Other universes, Ami Kings, destroyers, and Kais. This was crazy. But he could tell that Whis wasn't lying. "Then what do you want from me?" "Why watch me of all people?" asked Issei, his bangs covering in his eyes. We saw this and sighed. If he told the truth, it might bite him back later. He should tell the truth. "The current destroyer, Lord Beerus, is very bored. He wanted to find a foe that could fight seriously against. So we asked our seer, the oracle fish, who told us that the boy wielding the power of a dragon and the mighty warrior will rise to surpass the gods. Beerus sent me to look for you to train you to be able to fight him in his next awoke from his slumber. It was silent for a minute. Neither devil nor angel spoke for a few minutes. And we let the boy process the information. Then he dumped on him. "I'll do it." He finally spoke. We smiled happily as the boy accepted. "This is going to be fun." Flashback ended. After Issei was taken to Beerus' planet, but not before Whis removed his pawn pieces, as they might hinder him both emotional and physically. After Issei was trained recklessly, I can just say that. I'm just gonna say that, but he couldn't seem to make any progress as at the end of the day, he was still only human, and humans have limits. It seemed that Issei would never make any progress until both Dreg and Whis came to him with an idea. The oracle fish said that he could carry the power of a dragon and mighty of a warrior. Dreg offered him to turn into a dragon but didn't know about the warrior part. But Whis revealed the existence of an alien warrior race known as the Saiyans. As Whis explained, the their origins and their abilities. They were both enthralled by the abilities of these warriors who destroy planets with just a finger with no ease, feet even for a dragon. Whis offered him to give him a Saiyan genes and Drake with dragon genes, and the two combined their energies and sent them into a brown boy, changing his genes. However, something unexpected happened. All of a sudden, Issei felt a burning pain in his chest. Whis noticing it, halted the transformation and was surprised what he saw. The two genes were merging and modifying one another. He was not becoming a Saiyan or a dragon hybrid. He was becoming the first of the new race, with the traits of both races. But there was a problem. His body was not expecting the races properly. To fix the problem, he suggested Issei to be revert back to a kid so that his body would have matured and would be easier in time and accepting his new genes. So if you don't get it, is he can go back as a kid like how Goku did to get Super Saiyan 3. Is to grow his tail back so that he can turn to a Super Saiyan 3. And his body needed to be stronger enough and to have the stamina. But this one, Issei has to his body has to come with the thing. Like all those years, your body has been, you're new. Like let's say you were angel, then you return back to your human. Your body has to mix with the thing, your cells. It has to grow together to merge. So that's why he has to be a child again. So that the stuff can merge with his body or with his cells. He also took Drags and gave him a new body and decided to send the two to an alternate version of Earth while Issei matured. After hitting 15 years old, Issei is now Daiko. Went back to train with Whis and was 18 years old. He mastered the Super Saiyan transformations and managed to achieve Ultra Instincts and control it. He also noticed that the Master God Key and he stopped aging. His favorite transformation was Super Saiyan God. Because of the red theme, the loss of stamina with the form was a minimal, and the healing ability the form provided to him. Shaking himself with these thoughts, he gazed back onto Earth and frowned a bit before placing his finger on his head after using IT to return to Beer's planet. Wait, I forgot what it was called. The IT? Instant transmission. Oh yeah, no wonder it's called the IT. To return to Beer's planet right in front of his mentor, and he say, Surrogate father. We smiled at him and greeted his student. Hope your little trip went well, asked the angel. Yeah, it was fine. I had to think about everything that happened over the years, he responded back. Oh, by the way, she is here, said Whis with a mischievous smirk on his face as the Daiko's eyes widened momentarily before he sighed and counting. 3, 2, 1. Daiko! A feminine voice shouted as the orange blur slammed into his gut after almost knocking him over. He managed to keep his footing. Great to see you again. Did you miss me? Shouted the girl Daiko. She smiled and pat her head. Yeah, I missed you. Great to see you, Goki. Ha 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 ha. Wait, let me check something real quick. I'm looking for the best one. I'm just gonna do this one. Time to show you guys. This is how Goku's gonna look like. Hey, and no doing all of this. That's when he's in normal form, and this is how it looks like when he's Super Saiyan God, and he has his gi. And that's all of it. Okay, now let's go back. This guy says it's 11 out of 28. God damn, I hate you. Like, bro, he just did that out of the order. There's no more chapters. Literally, he just did that out of the order. To choose who liked Minecraft, let me go and see. Let me see. Okay, guys. I think after this, I'm doing another one because this guy just stopped it. Like, this is gonna be the end for this one until he uploads. I'm gonna do like this issei's new life. He said this is rewritten, so he's gonna leave the other one. He's gonna change it to this one. Okay, bro, that's not cool. But that was banger. How could you do that? Let me go and read the bio first. So, okay. Table. So he's kicked out of the ORC by his family. He was hated because of his pervertedness. Shunned by his peers and with no family to support him, issei decided it was a change, and with the help of a mysterious item that found his way to him, issei promised himself that he will show everyone that they were wrong to misjudge him. I'm not gonna watch that. Let me try and look for a new one. So if you liked it, subscribe and like.